Yo, what is up, guys? Today we are watching a video on before you buy Stalker 2. Whew. Hope you guys enjoy it, and leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. We always need the subscribes. We're on our road to 500. We're at 110 right now. Let's get this video started.
And we're back with another episode of Before You Buy, that show where we give you some straight up gameplay and our first impressions of the latest games releasing. As usual, it's me, Jake Baldino, and today we're talking about Stalker 2. We're finally talking about this, the follow-up to...
I'm not gonna lie, this gameplay looks pretty decent so far.
The classic PC Stalker games, after many years away and many difficult long years of development. I've been playing a review copy, and this footage is captured on PC and is spoiler-free. You're mostly seeing early game stuff because, to be honest, stumbling upon some things for the first time is half the fun, so I'm saving some of that for you. Plus,
it's giving me a Fallout vibe right now.
There is actually a lot of story, and there are some twists, so you won't see those here. To get into it, after such a long time from the originals, I was worried that this new Stalker would lose sight of what made the originals so special. I mean, we've seen it happen before, right? A long-beloved or classic movie or a video game, it comes back in full swing with a bigger budget and more eyeballs on it this time around, and it just feels different. Like something is off. We've seen it in a lot of things. Maybe it's...
What the fuck was that?
Streamlined, or the rough edges are sanded down, or it just doesn't feel spiritually the same. Well, thankfully, Stalker 2 is not one of those things. This game feels like a true follow-up to the sweaty PC classic, and doesn't forget where it came from. This is a gamer's game, one that challenges you and pushes you to really pay attention, observe, and push. It does not streamline things or really go for something ultra flashy and lacking substance. No, it seems like they didn't really compromise, and that's cool as hell. It's also messy, strange, and sometimes frustrating. Some of that, to be honest, is part of the charm. Players coming from the original game expected some of this. But unfortunately, this game takes that a bit further. Stalker 2 is coming in hot, with lots of visual and audio bugs and glitches, performance problems, and the other gameplay issues that made my playing pretty frustrating. Little things like, flickering textures, glitching characters, to worse things like getting stuck in lean mode, crashes, to immersion-breaking things like NPC radio voices suddenly not having the radio static thing, so it just sounds like they're talking right next to you. And that changing from like sentence to sentence, just weird things. A lot of my play experience was rough. Actually, worse than you see here in this footage. I held off for a while and waited for a massive patch or update to the game that came closer to release, and played more with this. And there are noticeable improvements. So all you need to take from that is that this game is improving.
Okay, so they basically started fixing things. So yeah, because it was a pre-release version. That makes sense, yeah. So that's why the video looks better.
Developers have been pretty upfront about frequent updates after launch and hot fixes all the time and stuff. So still, this is more of a review in progress from me. For most people, I recommend maybe you wait a little bit to jump into this one. This may be hard to hear if you were excited, I know, but in an age of endless games begging for your time and your money, some folks just don't have the patience for a game that is undercooked and messy. We've had this conversation again and again. I think some folks will power through and do okay. You don't have to listen to me, but I just wanted to give a word of warning. And still, despite the issues, I can still see Stalker 2 is a great game underneath.
I'm gonna have to do research on this game because I'm not sure what this game is about, but it looks good.
It's a massive survival horror-ish exploration sandbox, and the developers succeeded in making the zone now a fully explorable and seamless open world. It's brutal, it's challenging, and immersive when it's really cooking. So in this game, you are a stalker, someone who ventures into a more fantasized version of the Chernobyl exclusion zone seeking profit. It's this lawless land, and factions and adventurers explorers fight and scrounge for rare scientific artifacts and resources. And in this one, you're a voiced protagonist who is technically a rookie stalker, venturing into the zone for seemingly simple personal reasons. You're very quickly thrust into the thick of it in a pretty rough feeling intro sequence, one that I think serves to separate the player base or test you. If you get through the intro without feeling frustrated or lost and you want to see more, then you probably are more likely to vibe with the rest of the game. The intro is where you're either going to like really bounce on or bounce off with some of the things they throw at you. But story-wise, I think they do a good job. Moment to moment, it might not be the most memorable for reasons I'll focus on later on in terms of getting distracted, but there are some cool characters, there are some surprises, and there is a decent, clear motivation. But really, it's all about the gameplay.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't think I could play this game. That autoing looks horrendous. Like he just walks up, I'm pretty sure it's just autoing.
Stalker is all about questing, exploration, looting, and survival. You know, make sure you eat some food to keep up your combat proficiency, use bandages to stop bleeding, drink vodka to get rid of radiation. Side note,
Drink vodka to get rid of radiation.
does that actually work? Anyway, you're also managing loot and equipment in a tight, satisfying inventory system. Finding rare artifacts are really big too. Like if you discover them, you can equip them for super rare bonuses, but usually with some trade-offs. Equipment can degrade over time, so you need to keep them repaired or else you're screwed, especially with weapons because you don't want them to jam in the middle of a shootout. And of course, it's got a good layer of survival horrorness to it all because it often feels like you never quite have enough bullets or enough inventory space or whatever thing you need at that time, all while facing off against brutal enemies and scary monsters and weird stuff. Still, you can prepare yourself for a mission ahead. And that's why these games are so satisfying. Getting better loot feels like it makes a difference. Starting with a crappy pistol and a jacket just sucks. It feels much better once you get a solid weapon and some better armor. Like I mentioned, those artifacts and the weapon attachments work really well here. Getting something as simple as like an extended mag or a very, very small little scope or sight just feels so rewarding because it makes all the difference in this tough world. The game is still challenging. Your shots require pinpoint accuracy, you're not super fast. This does not play like Call of Duty, and you can just get down very easily at any.
Well, no shit doesn't play like Call of Duty. It's an open world game. Like, it's not a battle royale. Of course not. It's a fucking single player open world game. It's not gonna, bro. Okay.
Time. From the, weird bullet spongy irradiated creatures you face off against to the actual enemy stalkers out there. Shootouts with humans are oftentimes extremely awesome. Like the gunfire is loud and aggressive. The game gives you very little in the way of visual indicators. You really just need to observe. Sometimes an enemy can be hiding in a dark corner or kind of blending in with a bush, or maybe you just don't see someone. You can fire off a few rounds, run, dash for cover, fire off a few more, and just hope everyone's dead. But because you don't have like supervision or any indicators, everything you do is kind of a crapshoot and it feels realistic and fun. Firefights can feel fast-paced and aggressive, and also incredibly deliberate and challenging, and sometimes slower paced. AI is also a bit all over the place. Occasionally enemies are dummies just lining up in a hallway, but more often than not, I have experienced pretty good stuff. I've been outflanked, I've been flushed out, I've been freaking headshotted, but all in ways that felt mostly clever and fair, and like I could have done something different. Also, the enemies are extremely grenade happy, which seems like it might need a little balancing. Like, it feels like they throw grenades a lot. Thanks to the game's commitment to realism, you don't really get a grenade indicator. You just need to hope you hear a character call it out, or like hope you hear it hit the ground, or maybe just get lucky and see this tiny little black dot fly over in your direction. Stalker is that type of game. The challenge and the brutality is part of the point. Although it will frustrate some folks. It might feel unfair. It's not for everyone, but it feels old school. But the real payoff is adventuring in this world. This is what I loved. Where the game
Ooh.
doesn't feel old school is in the world design. The zone is beautiful. It looks absolutely incredible when there's no issues, and like with everything cranked up pretty much, like weather effects, trees and leaves swaying in the breeze, irradiated puddles. Don't get me started about the storms. Also, like,
I'm not gonna lie though, this game visually looks great.
the detailed abandoned buildings all hiding secrets. Like, this is a totally handcrafted open world, and it makes a difference. You feel it. This is what really saves the game for me. This adventuring. Hidden caves with monsters, bases with lookouts and raiders, and tons of little secrets tucked away, meaning you'll always get distracted. Characters are practically throwing side
Oh yeah, there's, oh my god, the horror ass. I could never play this game. No siree. Would be losing my shit.
quests at you, and it's all usually in the quest for more good loot to just feel a little bit more powerful and a little bit more confident to venture out even more. If you like, Witcher 3 or a Bethesda game, just for that constant feeling of discovery and distraction, there is a lot of that here. But the danger is still present, too. I forgot to mention the anomalies. They are no joke. And some of the fun of the game is just observing your surroundings and trying to figure out how, like, a weird puddle or a mysterious floating pile of leaves is gonna kill you. And the world is pretty random, and events just emerge. Neutral guys or enemies will sometimes be patrolling or wandering around. Sometimes they'll clash with local creatures. Sometimes they won't. Sometimes you'll be walking and a guy in a ghillie suit just domes you. Sometimes you'll be walking in the woods and a guy in a ghillie suit that you didn't even see just domes you. And then you reload your save and then he's not there.
This man said that twice. I'm pretty sure you got domed a couple of times in the woods. Jesus.
Unpredictability of this world helps keep that constant exploration and distraction even more interesting, even if every so often it might feel a little bit unbalanced or borked. Again, there are some things that should be fine-tuned and honestly should have been figured out before people bought the game with money. But at the very least, I'm glad so far my adventure has felt authentically Stalker-like. Getting through some frustrating issues, I've had a lot of fun. You're going to be able to dump hours and hours into this, with the main quest being like 40, but just like the size of the world and the amount of side quests, and just depending on how you play, if you take it slow, there's a lot to do here. There's also some choices that the game presents you with throughout. I've encountered quite a few so far, and there are multiple endings. Really, I'm just glad that the developers here stuck to their guns and made a game that isn't a big flashy AAA thing. It's a great foundation for the Stalker future as well. Feels like a great world for modders to jump in and make cool stuff, just as they did with the originals, and I can't wait to see what people do. Still, if you are watching this video, like, there's a good chance you are an informed consumer, you know what's up, so I'd say make sure you do your research. Don't just watch our video, check out a few, read some reviews and stuff to really make sure you know what you're getting into, because unfortunately the game is undercooked. Still, that's just my experience. I've only been able to see the PC version, and I have seen a lot of fixes come in nice and quick, but this is just a before you buy. You know how this goes by now. I give you some pros, some cons, and some personal opinion, and now I want to hear yours in the comments. I'd love to know your history with the franchise. Maybe you're hardcore, maybe this is your first one and you're just jumping in blind. Good luck with that. But let's talk about anything Stalker 2 down in the comments. If you like our videos and seeing gameplay here, helps inform your purchase or anything like that at all, clicking the like button does help us out. Thank you. I'm Jake Baldino. You can catch me on a lot of these before you buys, as well as the Friday news show and on social media. Just look up my name. But thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
No, that was a good video. That was a good video. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really liked it. Thumbs up. No, man, I wouldn't buy this game, but it seems like a pretty good game. The graphics look good. The gameplay looks like it could be used a little work on, but most of it looks fine though. I'd play it, but not really. No, I wouldn't play it. I lied. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll leave the link for the original video down in my description below, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.